identifier. Yeah, it provides a persistent digital identifier that you, as the researcher, owns and controls. So the purpose of this digital identifier is to distinguish you from every other researcher. Yeah, so to distinguish you and your research output from every other researcher. It enables you to link your ID to your professional information. Yeah, and this covers your affiliations, grants, publications, your peer review activities, and more. You can use your Orcid ID to share your information with other platforms, ensuring that you get recognition for all your contributions, saving you time and hassle, and also reducing the risk of errors. And very importantly, it is a free service. For researchers who hope to publish, when you prepared your document and you're passing it on to the publisher, I believe many times they will, nowadays at least I know, they always ask whether you have an Orcid ID. And in some cases, they will not accept your paper if you cannot provide an Orcid ID. So Orcid connects researchers with their professional activities. Yeah, connecting researchers with their professional activities can sometimes be difficult, of course. And the main cause of this is name variations. I've given an example from what you can see on your screen. There are many ways your name can appear, many formats it can follow. Yeah. For example, what we have on your screen there, we have Professor Patrick Obonyo Ochieng Digolo. Another way that name can be written is Professor Digolo Patrick Obonyo Ochieng, or Professor Patrick O.O. Digolo, or Professor Digolo Patrick O.O. All these are the same person. But if this individual, if this researcher has work that is out there, and this work, the name linked to this work bears one of these variations of names, then it would be difficult to, give credit to the one person, because, you may not be able to know whether this is the same person or different people. And that's where Orcid comes in. Yeah, Orcid. It is a unique number that will be able to link these researchers' works, all of them, regardless of how the name appears. The Orcid ID will be able to link all his or her, the researcher's academic output. So what are some of its applications? We've already covered some of them. With regard to publishers, it helps to identify the author. When you submit your work with an accompanying Orcid ID, it helps to identify you as the author of that work. Yeah, it helps with regard to affiliations and reviewer credibility. With regard to funding, it helps parties who provide grants. They'll be able to evaluate you based on your Orcid ID. They'll be able to check your background, basically. Yeah. Applicant affiliations, post-award evaluations. And also where it comes to seeking for employment, when you have your Orcid ID indicated on your CV, they will be able to find and confirm all your research output. Tracking research outputs, it comes in handy in the times of being awarded tenure or promotion, as well as seeking external funding. So as we have said, you can use your Orcid ID when prompted from grant applications to manuscript submissions and beyond to ensure that you get credit for your contributions. Orcid IDs also keep your records, you need to keep your records updated by adding new affiliations, changing of email addresses. You need to update your records whenever there is any such change, or other names you're known by. Yeah, so just update all that information and link it to that one ID. And you're going to see how. How do you go about setting up your Orcid ID? So at this point, before we go any further, we want to actually do a demonstration, a live demonstration on how you set up your Orcid ID. So if you just go to your browser in Google and just type Orcid, it will bring you the result. Click on the first one, open it in a new tab.
Timothy?
Yes, Dickens.
We are unable to see exactly what you are doing.
Oh, what has happened there? Okay, just give me a second. Let me try and fix this. Okay, I understand. You can see now. Everything is good, yeah?
Yes, we can now see.
Yeah. So I don't think you missed much. I think it was just when I stopped sharing the slide and moved to the browser. So as I was saying, you can access the Orcid platform by simply going to your browser and on the Google search. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, on the Google search, type in Orcid, and on the results that come back, click on the first link, and it will open the Orcid web page. So the first thing that you will want to do is to register, assuming, of course, you have no account with Orcid. You must register first. And to register, click on, you can either click on this link, if you can see where my cursor is, under step 1, click on register now, or at the very top of this screen, click on register. There's a link that is provided up here. Yeah, so I will click on register, and I will enter my first name. Okay, so I have requested one of my colleagues to provide me with their email addresses, because all of my email addresses, well, I have created Orcid IDs with them, and if I try to use them again, it will remember, or it will try and bring back an account that I had tried to delete. So I will use my colleague's name. Actually, I won't use my name. I'll use my colleague's name, and his name is Nahashon. Serone. And we are going to use his email. This is a registration process to get an Orcid account, an Orcid ID. uonbi.ac.ke. I will just confirm that email address. They will ask you to add an optional email. Now, the operating word being optional, so you can actually leave that one out. So once you provided your first name and provided your last name and your primary email and confirmed the primary email, you can click on next. Oh, I had not noticed this. It is telling me that this email already exists. Let me. Okay, so we will use, yeah, we'll try another account. Yeah, so I've been provided with another account that I can use. So let me just key in a different name here. Yeah, and the email address is MIL gmail.com. I hope I have that right. I'll just confirm that email. Gmail.com. Okay, yeah, that one has been accepted. So then I'll click on next so that we can proceed to the next step. So now it is asking me, so once you've keyed in your email address, your name and your email address, what it does is that it searches that email address to try and see if it can link you with other records that are online or that are already in the internet space. So I think none of them are similar to the account that I have provided. So I will simply click on none of these are me, continue with registration so that we can enter our details now ourselves. So step 2, we enter the personal data. Step 2 is security and notification in our effort to create our Orcid ID. So we will provide a password for this. And I will just come up with a simple password. So let me, yeah. Okay, I'll just confirm the password. If that is in order. Yeah, notification settings. Orcid sends email notifications about items related to your account, security and privacy, including requests from Orcid member organizations for permissions to update your record. You can also choose to receive emails from us about new features. So if this is something that you'd want to see, emails and notifications from Orcid, you can click on, you can check the box. If not, you can leave it unchecked. So we are ready to move to the next step. Click on next. And now it is asking us under visibility settings, your Orcid ID connects your Orcid record that can contain links to your research activities, affiliations, awards, other versions of your name, and more. You control this content and who can see it. By default, what visibility should be given to new items added to your Orcid record? This is a question. What visibility should be given to new items added? So do you want your records to be seen by everyone or by trusted organizations only? or only by you. So I think as researchers, we would like everyone to see our record. So I will click on everyone. And it says that 87% of users choose this. Of course, I think these 87% must be researchers. You know, they want everyone to be able to see them. So I've clicked on everyone. More information on visibility settings. Terms of use. I consent to the privacy policy. Yes, I think you will not be able to continue if you do not consent to the privacy policy and terms of use. And I consent to my data being processed in the United States. This, I think you have to consent. Finally, at the bottom there, you have to click on I am not a robot. You need to confirm that. And then you can click on register. So it is processing. Yeah, it has completed. So now we have finished setting up the initial part of this account. And I want to draw your attention to the left side of the screen under the name Millicent Chebichi. You can see where I have highlighted. Let me just highlight it better. Right there. You can see that. That is the Orcid ID, the one that begins with 000-0002-0592-7310. That is the Orcid ID. But when you're submitting it, if you're going to include it in your ID, include the whole thing from https://orcid.org/ then the number. Include the whole thing. Yeah. So that is the Orcid ID, but we have not finished setting everything up yet. We need to put in some information concerning employment, etc., etc. So under employment, click on add employment or click on add employer. But first we need to verify this account, the email that we provided. We need to verify in the email account. So yes, my colleague has verified. So I think we should be able to proceed. Hang on, let's resend verification email. It's okay. Okay, so I'm informed it has been verified, but it is still asking me to verify again. Okay, so I'll just refresh my page, and I think that should sort it out. So add employment, it is still asking. Anyway, so once you have verified, because you have to verify on the email address that you provided that it is actually you. Once you have verified, you will be able to add your employment details. Yeah. So employment list organizations where you have been professionally affiliated. So by clicking on employer, yeah, okay, it has accepted now. I think the verification has gone through. You'll be able to add your organization, add the name of your organization, the department where you're in. So if it were me, I would add the University of Nairobi and organization, and then I would add the library department, the city where this organization is based, that is Nairobi, my role or title, country where the organization is based, start date when I started working there, and end date if I have moved on from this organization. There's also a place to enter the end date. Then toward the bottom, before you click on add to list, it asks you whether you want to set visibility. Who do you want this information to be visible to? Everyone, trusted parties, or only me? Yeah, so I think as a researcher, we want to be open about our employment record, as well as our research records. So I would set it to everyone. And finally, I would click on add to list. Yeah, and the same goes to education and qualifications. When you move to add education, it will ask you to enter the same details. So provide the details as prompted and add to list. And the same with add qualification. Provide all those details and click on add to list. And the information required continues. Invited positions and distinctions, membership and service, funding. Yeah, so you'll click on add funding. And within add funding, it will ask you to import your awarded grants from funders around the world, all in one easy to use wizard. So there's a wizard that is provided there where you can upload your funding details. Now, all this information is important to provide if you're going to have a very comprehensive Orcid account, so that should anyone want to look at your background using your Orcid ID, they'll be able to have all the information they need about you here or available. Yeah. And once you've provided all the details, then you're confident that if you provide, or if you give your Orcid ID to someone, then the information that we'll find about you is information that you are okay being made available, or you are okay being known. Yeah, so that is the Orcid ID. You are encouraged to include your Orcid ID in your CVs, include it even in your business cards. Yeah, include it in your business cards, include it when you're submitting a paper for publication. And once you have provided all this information, you will be good to go. All the necessary information about you will be available to the relevant parties. So up to that point, do you have any question about Orcid, about how to set it up? I believe you have seen that it's a very simple and straightforward process. Yeah. I want to repeat again that this right here is the Orcid ID. So you will just need to copy that and paste it in your documents, in your CV, or include it in your business card. Do we have any question up to that point before I proceed to the next area? Any question at all? If there is no question, I want now to proceed to Google Scholar. Okay, so I'll proceed to Google Scholar. And Google Scholar basically provides a convenient method for searching scholarly literature. It helps you find relevant research quickly and from a wide variety of academic sources available online. It is also a very comprehensive academic search engine. When it comes to visibility, it plays a major role. And we will see how you can register yourself for a Google Scholar account, and how you can upload your details in the same way that we have done with Orcid. So on the screen right now is an example of a Google Scholar profile. Yeah, and this one is of Albert Einstein. It highlights certain areas which are very important, number of citations, the H index, and the I-10 index. We will look at what these are. You can see here that Albert Einstein has over 136,000 citations. And under H index, first, I think let's talk about what H index is and I-10 index so that we can appreciate Albert Einstein's H index a bit better. So the I-10 index, is the number of publications, or rather it refers to the number of publications with at least 10 citations. Yeah, that is the I-10 index. The H index reflects both number of publications and the number of citations per publication. Yeah, when it comes to talking about H index and I-10 index, it's the language gets a bit complex, but we'll try and follow it very carefully. So the H index reflects both the number of publications and the number of citations per publication. Yeah, for example, if a scientist or if a researcher with an H index of 5 or an H index of 20, it can be any number. So if a researcher with an H index of 20 has 20 papers, a researcher, let me try and put this very clearly. A researcher with an H index of 20 means that he has 20 papers that have been cited at least 20 times. Yeah. So if a researcher has an H index of 5, it means that he or she has published 5 papers, each of which has been cited by others at least 5 times. Yeah, I hope that is clear. It's a bit confusing, but yeah. The advantage of the H index is that it combines productivity, that is the number of papers published, and the impact, that is the number of citations in a single number. The number of citations in a single number. So that's why we were talking about the H index reflecting both number of publications as well as the number of citations per publication. I know there will be questions concerning this, but I hope so far it is clear. So we want to look at how you go about setting up your Google Scholar account. But remember what we are talking about, Albert Einstein having an H index of 118. Yeah, so if Albert Einstein has an H index of 118, it means that he has published, or rather he published 118 papers which were published 118 times. Yeah, so yeah, it's confusing, but I hope that is clear. And Albert Einstein I-10 index being 389 means that this is the number of publications that has received at least 10 citations. So the number of Albert Einstein's publications that have received a minimum of 10 citations are 389. Yeah, okay. So let's now look at how we set up your Google Scholar account so that you can also receive such numbers of citations and H indexes. So again, if you go to your browser in the Google search and just type Scholar, it will bring these results, and just click on the first link there, and it will open Google Scholar. So now, as is the case when you're in the Google environment, it operates in a specific email account. So if you want to use your staff email account or your personal Gmail account, you need to be logged into that account. So in my case, I have logged into my personal email account. Yeah, this is my, I hope you can all see my screen. I've logged into my personal Gmail account, and it is what I will use to demonstrate how to set up your Google Scholar account. So once you're signed in, to the top left side of the screen, there is this link, my profile. Yeah, so click on my profile. And because no profile exists yet, when you click on my profile, it will provide a form where you can begin creating a profile. You're setting up your profile. And the first thing it will ask you to provide is your name. So I will enter my name the way I prefer to have it displayed. Yeah, so I have entered my name, and under affiliation, I will enter, I will put in the University of Nairobi. University of Nairobi. Email for verification. For verification, we'll enter my, let me see if it will accept my staff email account. I know I have used it somewhere else. Let me see if it will go through. timothy.njoki@uonbi.ac.ke. Areas of interest, I will put in ICT and information services. And on the home page, for those of us who have their staff profiles, you can enter your staff profile here. Use a link to your staff profile. So let me search for my staff profile. Let me see if profiles. Sorry, profiles. Search myself and see if I can get my staff profile. Yeah, it should be somewhere. No, I can't find my staff profile. What happened to my staff profile? My staff profile seems to have disappeared. But yeah, when you you can enter a link to your staff profile there, and then click on next. Yeah, of course this is optional, so it will allow us to proceed even without it. So I'll now click on next. And you see it has immediately, in the same way that Orcid searches online for material that is linked to a certain name or a certain email. So it has searched and it has found my master's project paper, which is this one here. So if there was more, they would all be listed right below or alongside this particular one here. Yeah, so it has only found one. And so if I accept that this is actually my paper, what I will do is I will check on this box here, yeah, to accept that it is my paper. And then I will proceed. I will click on next. The arrow, the blue arrow at the top there. I hope you're all together. So I will click on that arrow. And then now it is asking me article updates. Scholar automatically finds your new articles and changes to existing articles. So Google Scholar will be able to automatically find any new articles under that name that I have given. And it also is able to identify changes that I make to existing articles. Yeah. So there are two options provided. Do you want it to apply updates automatically, or do you want the system to email you when it detects new updates? I will set mine to update automatically. I'll select the first option. I hope my screen is clear. Are you able to see my screen very clearly? Should I zoom in?
Yes, we can see. Yes, zoom in.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I have set mine to update automatically. And then under profile visibility, public profiles help your peers find and follow your work. They also come with personalized reading list. So there's the option here to make your profile public. And I think it is important to check this box so that your profile will be visible to everyone out there. As a researcher, again, we want to be seen. We want our work to be seen. So I will check that box to make my profile public, and then I will click on done. And now I have finished setting up my, or rather, I've finished one part of setting up my Google Scholar account. You also can upload an image of yourself here if you want to have a more complete account. So yeah, so you just click on that edit image link there, and it will allow you to browse to where maybe you have saved an image of yourself. I have an image saved here. Let me click on open, and it is uploading the image. Yeah, it has uploaded the image. So yeah, now I have a more complete email account. Sorry, not an email account, a Google Scholar account. Now, there is a way also that you can upload some of your research work that you have done. You can also upload it manually. Yes, we have set it to automatically detect and upload, but sometimes for the works, some works that we did maybe a long time ago, they may not be online, but only you know that you have done that work. So you can upload them manually. And how do you do that? If you can see where my cursor is, yeah, under title, there's this icon with a plus sign. It is an addition sign. So you click on that, and it will give you a drop-down menu where it gives you the option to add article groups, add article, or add article manually. Yeah, so I'll click on add article manually. And you can see now the screen that has appeared. Let me try and zoom in a bit more. Yeah. Yes, so there's this window that has appeared here. And at the top, there are tabs, each of which bears a different type of document. There's journal, then there's conference paper, there's a book chapter, there's book, there's thesis, patent, court case, or other. So if you have a journal article that you published many, many years ago and it is not online, so the system is not able to find it, you can come and update it manually here. You can enter it manually here. So click on journal if it's a journal article. Click on journal, enter the title of the paper, the journal article that you wrote. Enter the author, that is yourself. Or if it was co-authored, you can also enter the additional authors there. The date of publication, you can enter it there. Enter the name of the journal where you published. the volume, the issue, number of pages, and finally the publisher. And once you are done, there is this blue tick, yeah, at the top right. Yeah, just click on that and it will update it. You will have uploaded a new record manually. Yeah. So what this does, it does not upload the paper itself, but it uploads a record of that paper. And having given the location, yeah, the title, the authors, the journal, the volume, having given all those details, anyone who wants to go to that paper, they will be able to, based on that information that you have provided. Yeah, so that is how you add, you can update your Google Scholar account manually. If it is a conference paper, for example, that you want to update, you click on conference up here, click on conference, enter the title of the paper that you presented at the conference, the author, when it was published, the name of the conference that you attended, the volume, the issue, and the number of pages. Yeah, and again, once you're done entering all that information, you can click on the blue button at the top right corner of this window, and it will update that document in your Google Scholar account. And it is as simple as that, a very simple and straightforward process. Now, you see here, it is asking you to verify email. Yeah, at all times, I think for the system to be 100% sure that it is you, because you provided an email address, I think it is important. It will ask you to verify this email address. So now if I go to my inbox, I should find, let me refresh. Let me see, I should find, yeah, it is here. Let me zoom in again so that you can see. Yeah. So this is the verification email that it has sent me. And if I open that email, I will then now be required to click on verify email address. And now it has verified. Yeah, now it is sure that I am the person that I am claiming to be. And your Google Scholar account is now up and running. Yeah, we made it public so that anyone out there is able to locate us, locate our research output, etc., etc. Yeah. So it works kind of like in the same way as Orcid, but Orcid provides a unique identifier which you can include in many places. Yeah. So do we have a question up to that point? Do we have a question up to that point, or should we? Maybe we can. Can you search somebody's profile? Maybe let's search for. Let's see what we get. We have searched for Magoha, our former Vice Chancellor, Professor George Magoha, and we have found his Google Scholar account. Yeah, so you can see there that he has 750 citations from his various publications. You see, his is very, he has a very, well, yeah, as would be expected. He has published quite a bit. Yeah, we can see his H index there is 16. And remember, we said H index refers to a situation where if Professor Mago has an H index of 16, it means that he has published 16 papers, each of which has been cited 16 times. Yeah, so that's what makes that his H index. 16 of the papers he has published have been published 16 times. And the I-10 index is, it refers to the number of publications, the number of his publications that have been published at least 10 times. That is the I-10 index. Yeah. Overall, he has over 750 citations. So that is Google Scholar. And now I want to open the floor for anyone with a question. You're most welcome to ask. Do you have anyone with a question? So does it mean that it was very clear? If there's no question, then you know what it means, that the presentation was very clear and everything is understood. Yeah, was someone about to ask a question? Please go ahead.
I don't know whether you can hear me, Jeff Usaji.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thanks for the good presentation. I logged in a little bit late when you had already started with Orcid. I'm just wondering whether you can share the presentation with us through our email so that we can catch up with what you had presented on Orcid. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, we will make the session is being recorded, and I think once it is once this session is over, we will have the recording available. We should make it available on the library website as soon as we have access to it. So where it will be available on the library website, this is the library website. If you come to important links, the second link under important links is guides and presentations. Yeah, and under guides and presentations, you will see this table here, where we have tried to provide write-ups or recordings where they are available on various subjects. We have remote access and to electronic resources. There's a write-up and a recording that is available there. So whenever we have a recording or a write-up available, we will be uploading it here. So you can go to the library website to this page to view that recording. Yeah. Do we have another question? Another way that we can make our research more visible is through the use of social media. Yeah, I'm sure we are all familiar with LinkedIn. Yeah, it is a more professional social media platform, more professional than, say, Facebook or some of the others that are out there. So LinkedIn is a very good platform. I think in the next session that we have, I will try and locate a professional LinkedIn account that we can appreciate of a researcher that has provided details of themselves on that platform. Twitter is also another social media platform that I have seen researchers use to make themselves and their research output more visible. That is Twitter. Yeah, so social media is not restricted just for you know, casual things. It can also be used for professional purposes, and there are people who have done it. Yeah, so Twitter and LinkedIn especially are very useful social media platforms to make to increase the visibility of your research. So do we have a question at all concerning the two areas that we have talked about, Orcid and Google Scholar, how to set up, how to upload your details. Yes?
Yes, Timothy, thank you for the good presentation. I have
Yes.
posted on the chat up there about the ResearchGate. I don't know if you can comment on it, but thank you for the good presentation. But maybe when I've worked on my Google Scholar, because many times it gives very high figures which don't seem to make much sense. I think I'll still try to configure it. But please comment on ResearchGate, because many of us are using that and it's very active. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. Yes, ResearchGate is one that I have found is very popular also with researchers. Yeah, and yeah, there are those who seem to be a bit skeptical about it, but I think it is one that is one that can be relied on. I don't know if my colleague may have something to add on that. Dickens, are you able to shed a bit more light on ResearchGate? Dickens, if you're still with us. Dickens? I think Dickens may have stepped out briefly, but ResearchGate is, I believe, one that can be relied on. If I may not have much information regarding some of the fears that some people have had concerning it, but in the next session that we will be having on enhancing research visibility, I will strive to have some more information that I can share with you concerning ResearchGate. But so far, what I have heard is that it is reliable and it works. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So again, the floor is open. We still have a few more minutes before we close this session. If there's anyone that has a question, you're most welcome to ask.
Timothy, sorry, I had stepped out. You called me?
Yes, Dickens. Thank you. I was asking if you made, there's a member of the audience who is asking about ResearchGate and its reliability as a platform for enhancing research visibility. I think you may have more experience with ResearchGate than myself. What maybe you can.
Okay. Yes, apart from what my colleague Timothy has talked about, Orcid and Google Scholar, we have other platforms actually that can help you just to have your work to be out there, your online scholarly presence. And we have, he has mentioned of Orcid, he has mentioned of Google Scholar, but we have another social media platform that we call LinkedIn. We have academia, we call it academia.edu. And then we have also what audience has asked about ResearchGate. And the purpose of ResearchGate, actually ResearchGate is a social networking tool for scientists, for scholars, for researchers that provide the opportunity to connect and be able to collaborate and make your research visible and obtain statistics and metrics. And basically, it works just as the same as other platforms. And this one, it is currently the most one that is used by quite a number of researchers. It is very interactive, actually, oriented towards collaboration and we call it discoverability. A very good one. So yes, I can comment on it and comment it for any researcher, any scholar out there. ResearchGate. And as Timothy, I came in as mentioning, he will be able to take us through how to be on it, actually. So basically, yes, it is one of the platform that helps your work to be out there, including academia.edu, LinkedIn, Orcid, and Google Scholar. But more of this information, I think we'll give it in the next training. Thank you. Timothy?
Thank you, Dickens. Thank you for chipping in. The floor is still open for anyone who might have a question.
But maybe I still ask because I was the one who asked about that ResearchGate issue and how many of us are really there. And as Dickens has said, it's extremely active. I mean, they literally every day there's you get a feedback. But then one of the things, now you are the people in the area where we are being assessed for visibility as an institution in terms of University of Nairobi. So the word goes around saying that you people are not able to pick that active site to complement in our visibility as an institution. And I just want to find out, is that the case? Because we get feedback, like sometimes a student finally publishes a paper, you are fully aware of the paper, but by the time it has gone online and is linked there, they actually alert you and find out, is this person, are you connected? And you verify. Once you verify, it's logged onto you and all those things. But I'm asking about our contribution from ResearchGate towards visibility of University of Nairobi as an institution. Thank you.
Dickens, are you able to take that?
Yes, I got her question. And actually, Milka was the right person to answer this question. If actually, in terms of picking, when it comes to counting, I don't know if the Milka and the team actually in the digital repository, they use ResearchGate to pick some of the contribution from there. So I think it's a point noted, and we will check and work out that also we pick from ResearchGate actually just to make the contribution that is in ResearchGate to be counted. That's a very important note that I have noted, which I will make a follow-up with a team that collect this data actually to make the work be counted in the university. Because I know quite a number of people, including myself actually, I'm very active on ResearchGate. Thank you. I'll pick it from there. I'll pick that point and try to see if this is happening. If not, we'll pick it from there. Thank you, Timothy.
Thank you, Dickens. Do we have anyone else that may be having a point that needs to be clarified? If you don't have a question, I would just like to thank you all so much for joining us in today's session. We covered the area of enhancing research visibility, and we had a look at Orcid and its uses in enhancing visibility, as well as how to set it up. And we also had a look at Google Scholar and how to set that up. we aim to make this session, particularly on the area of enhancing visibility, more comprehensive. So we will be researching into other areas, other modern tools that are available to enhance our research. And we will include them in the next similar session on this topic. If there's no further question, I now want to hand back to Dickens to close this morning's session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Timothy, for that training that you have trained researchers on Orcid and Google Scholar to enhancing their research visibility out there. And I believe, just like the madam who has just asked a question, Mwangombe, said she has she will try out on Google Scholar. And if you're not on Google Scholar, if you've not registered with Orcid, this is now the time to be able now to do that, so that at least you are visible, your research output is visible out there. Very important for scholars, very important for researchers. And therefore, we give you an opportunity to go and set up if you've not, and share and give us feedback, even as we move with other platforms that are very key, that are also very important, that are there currently. So yes, Jenna Cheng has said ResearchGate is a very useful platform for sharing information, and many researchers are on it. That is true. So without much ado, we come to the end of our training on Orcid and Google Scholar. And therefore, I'll bring this training to an end. Next week, we meet again. We will be making an announcement on what we'll be training on for researchers, for scholars, students. We welcome you for this training. Pick one or two things that can be able to benefit you, even as you endeavor. Thank you so much. Have a nice weekend. God bless you.